All right, folks. Okay, what do I do first? Slam rules or get the judges? Oh, okay, let's take care of the judges. Okay, judges. Okay, the role of the judge, slam is different from any other kind of competition in that it's judged by just like a bunch of yahoos from the audience. You don't really need to have any sort of expert credentials or anything like that. So, that said, here are our judges. We have Galen Forrester. He is qualified because he won't be moved by whether your politics are good or bad, or how sad your story is. He just wants you to make him feel something, and that you say it beautifully. Galen? Alright. That's a good judge. Our next judge is Poetic Paraphernalia. And he's qualified because once upon a time he got second place at one of these bad boys. Third place, oh, you know what I'm seeing is a heavy testosterone dominance in this judge. Ladies, please, you know what? Women, sign up to judge. You can. You really can. We have all men.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. I didn't do it. That's who signed up.
I'll give up. I'll give mine.
You want to hand over your spot to a lady?
I'd love to, yes.
Anybody of the female gender want to judge? Everybody?
All right.
What makes you qualified?
She's sexy.
Yeah. She's got lady parts. That's why she's qualified. All right. Thank you. Thank you. One more? But I got Francis, who's a poet and a scientist. He can judge from both the art and the form, which is pretty good. And our final judge is Andrew, and he's qualified because he writes slam.
Yeah.
That's the good one right here. Okay, judges, your job.
Number one is to be very careful with your cards. They're very old.
They're original.
Yeah.
Be gentle.
They're vintage. So, judging is kind of a thankless job. You're going to judge these poets from 0 to 10, and you can use decimals. That's the little flip thing, like 3.5 or whatever. Oh, I do. I like the one with the Jesus sticker on it. This one has a Fireball whiskey sticker. So this would be, let's see, 7.3, for example. Okay. And a 10 would be throw up. Bam! But that's got to be like the best one. So, judging is kind of a thankless job, and judges, I just want to exhort you to be honest. Just, if you didn't like it, even if it's like some 14, okay, this is my first poem. And if it sucks, don't give it a good score, okay? No, make it, I like to call that a teachable moment. I mean, maybe they really mean it, but it needs some work. Audience, that being said, when you see that 14-year-old up there reading their first poem, you have to be like, woo, yeah! Try to influence those judges to bump it up. Judges, don't listen to the rest of the It's an eternal struggle. Okay, so you see how that goes. Alright, so, did I cover everything? Oh, score creep. Okay, what's going to happen is we have 2 sacrificial poets. One for this first round, and then one after the break for the second round. What's going to happen is you guys are going to, people aren't really drinking. At my slams, we used to, people just bring in their own booze, and by the second round, we're going to be wasted. So the scores got crazy inflated. But it still happens, even if you're stone cold sober. But what's going to happen is you're going to listen to poetry, you're going to loosen up, and those scores are going to start creeping up. So what I want you to do, when you listen to the sacrificial poet, there you're going to get, and I would make some notes. Here's what me personally, I'm scoring on. I'm looking for performance and craft. I'm looking for whatever. You decide. We throw out the top score and the low score, just so you're way out of bounds, don't worry about it. But, so remember how you scored that sacrificial poet, so that you can score all the poets by the same measure. Okay, so just so it's fair. Alright, is that it? Okay. Here are my rules. Here they are. Slam rules. Original word if only. Right? That's obvious. Yeah, can't read anybody else. No props for this. Unlike the sex slam.
That includes tattoos.
What?
For the record.
No.
You cannot reference
You
your
can't be
tattoos
like,
because other people don't
that's
have
for sure. Yeah, okay. Good. That's a good point.
That earlier than what?
Okay, memorization is not necessary. Although, as a judge, you can decide you want to give some extra points if they have it, memorized. That's up to you. But you totally can read it off paper. 3 minutes maximum, you're going to be timed. And if you break the 3-minute barrier, they start deducting points. Okay? You can't perform the same poem twice in the slam. If you performed this poem earlier in the season, you can't use it. If you are somebody who makes it to the finals, which are next month, which basically is everybody from all the slams who have placed, first, second, or third, you can use a poem again. Okay, but for now we're still in that no repeat phase. Let's see. Cell phones off. Yeah, do I need to say that? And this is the last open slam. This is the last slam that will qualify you to be in the finals. What? One poem?
Was that on your list?
No, but one poem within 3 minutes. Like if you have a bunch of short poems, don't do it. We have to score you on one poem, so don't muddle it up. I think that's it. Yes, sir.
Can you get announce the
Don't rush me. I got announcements. I'm going to do them in the dead zones. Don't worry about it. Okay, I have announcements to make. Lots of them. Okay, anything else?
No 1.0 on the scorecard. 1-0 is a 10.
Yeah, 1-0 is a 10, right. If you want to express 1, here's what I do. I would go, not that this is going to happen, I would do this. Just to be safe. I don't think I've ever seen it though. Alright, that doesn't mean it can't happen. Alright, so, sacrificial poet. Who is our sacrificial poet tonight? Is Clementine. Please give her a hand.
I'm sitting in class and the professor asks if anyone in the room can put a face to the statistic. If anyone knows any one of the 1 in 3 women now forever renamed victim, and I lower my eyes. I raise my hand against insisting memories. I wonder if my trauma is showing. If everyone can see my body is bruised by betrayal, my eyes are neon signs flashing broken, broken, broken. Violence is not just a moment. It's not just the night he stole the very last part of me. See, that only happened to my body. The body is soft. It's resilient, built to absorb blows. The spirit is not so lucky. The spirit is the reason I spent the next 6 months flinching. The reason I'm worried loving me now comes with a warning label. Warning, I have memories like landmines. You can't possibly walk carefully enough. There are days when I open my mouth and all that comes out is apologies. Days when I'm sorry. But you can't touch me. Violence is my being judged for what he did wrong. It's months of therapy and medication. Once my phone rang in the middle of the street. I got so scared I couldn't breathe. Once I was drunk and he didn't stop when I said stop. And once he got away with it. I thought that was my fault. I waited too long to call the police. I was out of earshot of anyone who could testify or save me. I called 4 days later to offer my forgiveness. So there are days I want to track down God, point to my life and yell, none of this was part of my goddamn plan, but I know he just shrug and say, I'm sorry. I never meant to give you the impression that this would be easy. I know none of this is easy, but that's why I invented time. It is a slow, steady promise. Just hold on, just white-knuckle grip, keep breathing, because time takes you far enough away from anything. It is a blessing. It will heal you. If you let it heal you. Tell your mother. Let it heal you. Name yourself in a classroom. Let it heal you. Lie beside a man whose hands you trust. Let him wrap his arms around you and say, baby, you're not broken. Because we are more than the worst thing that ever happened to us. All of us need to stop apologizing for having been to hell and come back breathing. See, your bad dreams are battle scars. What doesn't kill you cuts deep. Yes, but scars are skin growing back thicker when it heals. So let it heal you. Try to be honest and open, even if some days that means saying yes. I still feel broken, and I am too beat down to get out of bed, but I have faith. Yes, tomorrow I will stand, and I will relearn justice. And I will love without fear, and I will be more than some monster that crawled out from under my bed, 'cause I swear I will not give him the satisfaction of being the thing that breaks me.
Judges, so this is where the judges take a couple moments to flip. I don't want to rush you. Don't put them up until I say put them up, because I don't want you guys looking at each other scoring. But I would recommend judges make a couple notes on paper or mentally about what it is that made you score this quote in this way, so that you can repeat that later on. Okay, so judges, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's see the scores. Put them up. Okay. Here's the buddy.
Yeah, it's because I don't have an 8.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you have an 8.5, and leave them up until I'm done. 8.3. I'm sorry, 9.3. Sorry, 8.5, 9.3. Nice. 7.6, 9.3, 8.8. All right. Andrew's up here keeping it real. Okay, Prajna is really good at adding. And we drop the top. When you guys can put your scores down, we drop the top, we drop the low, we average. Will we add them up? Okay. We don't average. 26.6. And with that business done, we're going to start the slam. Our first poet up is Jacob Lamar. And your 3 minutes starts when you start talking into the mic. I should say that to you. Oh.
Dear God, it seems like our society runs on hate. Hate fuels us and it motivates us like some cars run on gasoline. God, the very gasoline that we pump from the Middle East, and the very Middle East that's plagued with an American war, and is therefore plagued with poverty. We're tied up in this almighty conflict trying to control the terrorists, crush the resistance, and increase restrictions so that someday, in history, all American historians can paint beautiful depictions in young minds about our push for the greater good. The history of our world is plagued with hate, God. World War II that led up to the dreaded D-Day date. Germans set their fury on Europe because they hated the Jews. And some, God, still do. How much do people have to hate each other? To send them into showers of acid, or to kill and rape the innocent Chinese all the way from the coast to Nanking, or to drop an atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? How much hate does it take for 200 people to be killed in Nigeria? God, most of them Christians, hacked to death with machetes. Machetes that when wielded were made specially to kill Christians and women. And a 3-day-old baby. The history of our world is plagued with hate. People who perform terrible tragedies and they blame it on self-protection. This hate, it causes a division of certain ideals or religions. It causes Muslims to hate Christians. It causes Germans to hate Jews. And the white man to hate the Indian. And the cracker to hate the Negro. And everyone to hate Asians. And Muslims to hate everyone. The talented to hate the disordered. The straight to hate the gay. And the same in reverse order. So God, I guess everyone must hate everyone anyway. I pray things will change. and that one day all people can love each other, that all colors can be Americans, all Asians are loved, that Christians and Muslims can embrace in a hug, and that Germans and Jews can embrace as brothers. God, in what people do and what people say, the absence of hate is all that I pray. Amen.
All right, Jacob. While the judges are peeping, I make the first of my many announcements tonight. And this is how many of you have heard of the poet Jared Paul? Activist, two-time winner of the National Poetry Slam. He is a badass. And he's going to be here. I brought him to my school to do poetry last month, and I got in sort of a little bit of trouble. And so naturally I was like, I'm going to bring him back to the Pleasant Hill Community Theater tomorrow night. This is a theater like, you know, in the Little Rascals when they're like, I got a barn, let's put on shit. This is that theater. And it's beautiful. And it's 15 minutes away. I swear, you get there in 15 minutes, and it's out in the country, and it's gorgeous. $2 to $5 sliding scale. And it's tomorrow's show starts at 7 o'clock. I would love for you to be there. Also, Old Growth Collective, some poets from Olympia, will be doing a little intro. So grab one of these. They're at the front. I have some up here. I'd love to see your faces there. And I'd love for you to experience Jared Paul. Okay, judges, let's see it. 5.3, 7.1, 6.4, 8.3 for young Jacob Lamar. 20.7. Give him a okay. So sorry, I forgot to tell you who was on deck that last time. So on deck this time is Chris Puma, and our next poet is Joe Sentra. Come on.
I think I'll still need my glasses because I might get a little nervous. 11 dances: river dance, victory dance, social dance, floor dance, romance, celebration. Round dance, square dance, table dance, flash dance, take a chance, revelation. Soul dance, heart dance, mind dance, spirit dance, transcendence, elevation. Line dance, fast dance, slow dance, last dance, invitation. Snake dance, shadow dance, belly dance, harvest dance, wild elation. Exotic dance, erotic dance, hypnotic dance, clothes askance, liberation. War dance, rain dance, sun dance, vengeance, no chance, reservation. Classic dance, folk dance, modern dance, jazz dance, break dance, inspiration. Work dance, play dance, class dance, dream dance, balance, remuneration. Moon dance, fairy dance, star dance, music dance, freeform dance, meditation. Hula dance, Sufi dance, temple dance, circle dance, sacred dance, sweet salvation.
All right. Close the scans. That was my favorite line. All right. Hey, another announcement. We have, what is this date? April 21st. Why, it's here at Tsunami Books. SAS's annual Poetry of Survival reading. That's wonderful. April 21st, what day of the week is that?
Sunday.
Sunday. So it's in a couple weeks, 4 o'clock. And awesome for SAS, Sexual Support Services. Fantastic. So, judges, are you ready? Let's see. 6.7, 7.4, 6.2, 8.3, and 6.6. Wow, these judges are amazingly aligned. 20.72 poets in a row. That's kind of weird. Are you guys texting each other? All right. On desk is Robert Gillespie, and our next poet is Chris Puma.
My life is a sickness. Every step I take is another cough. Each day that passes, another stomachache. And every second wasted thinking it could all just go away with a shot of NyQuil adds up to be my aches and pains. I am suffering. Activity is my treatment. I must always be on the move looking for the next thing to do. Sports, friends, games, I'll even do schoolwork. Anything to preoccupy my mind, to trick myself into thinking that I'm alright. I need to be go, go, go. Because when I stop, I think. When I think about her. When I think about her, the aches come back and the sickness returns, but she is not the cause of my sickness. It's the distance between us that makes my mind shake with tremors, my heart bleed with vomit, and all the fluttering butterflies in my stomach retreat to the cocoons they originally came from. God is my medicine. I pray with open hands that all this mess is in His plan, and I wait. I waited out to find the answers He provides, but I can't help but feel the need to stray away and do my own thing. This medicine only lasts for so long. Before I start to feel the effects disappear, the realization kicks in that she's not here. She is my cure. Or at least the presence of her. Every step I take towards her is like a cough drop. Each day that passes is my shot of Pepto-Bismol closer to the coating tablet that is her touch, which aids these aches and pains. But this all wears off too. Just like the medicine's effects, her presence ends and I'm forced to feel the sickness again. It is all a tease. A temporary moment which I am finally stable. My butterflies are able to come out and fly again, but then it ends because I stupidly leave. In a car, train, or plane. Either way, I'm 1,000 miles away from the girl of my dreams / best friend. It sucks to only see her through a 14-inch computer screen, hear her through a 2mm speaker in the phone, and feel her across this distance that is my sickness, but I will suffer. Because when she's finally in my arms again, and the sickness momentarily ends, I know it is all worth it. My life is a sickness. Because my life is dedicated to finding my cure and being with her. Even if it means we've got to wait for both of us to graduate from our designated schools, this sickness will not kill us. It will only make us stronger.
Just to read Dante. My comedy. I think you would relate in a lot of ways. Alright. Wait, I have another announcement. Okay. Anybody else have announcements? Just give it to me. Write them off piece of paper. Tomorrow, Plato, who's a poet, who's going to perform here pretty soon. There's a human rights poetry reading from the youth, called Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, remembering Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah. It's poetry, music, spoken word, from the youth of our community. It's free. It's at Cosmic Pizza tomorrow at 2 o'clock. There's just so much poetry. So much. All right, let's see what the judges gave to Chris. 8.7, 7.2, 7.3, 9.4, and a 23.2. Okay, on deck is Melinda. Next up is Robert.
I was speculating, what sort of poem would Sam Elliott's The Stranger character from The Big Lebowski write? Dry gulch. There's a certain low-down feeling in your mind when it becomes like a dry gulch, like an abandoned western mining town with nothing but a steer skull with glowing red eyes to show that there was ever a sign of life. When a tumbleweed blows down an empty highway stretching to the horizon, outracing the power lines, outracing the satellites, outracing ambition. A man on a mission in the missionary position begins inquisition. Begins to inquire the way and the why and the will and the fire and the truth of the liar and the sound of the liar, and all truths conspire to fool you, rule you, disembowel and be cruel to you. Tea leaf reading the red stains left by your organs by the coyotes when they caught you in the dry gulch, in the dirty west of your mind, where the Marlboro man coughs up a lung as he aims his shotgun at the mailbox because the pension check didn't come. Like a bloated horse swirling slowly in the fast lake formed by the flash flood, we grow lighter as our hide swells with gas. We shall not last the night, we shall not bear the sight of the oil slick, strip mine, industrial wine of the old west coast town, where lava rock and a wagon wheel outline the shape of a bleached steer skull with hot red eyes and burning breath, the taste, the thrill, the stench of death. Eels bursting out of the rotted corpse of the spinning horse seek the safety of the water that will disappear with the rainfall's end. Dead horses spin. Dead horses win. A dead horse will end what a dead horse begins. We find the killer alkali flat by the bleached bones of the animals that were too thirsty to care about the poison. The still black sand from the old oil spill and the dirty earth from the burnt tires hide the shallow graves of the boomers and busters that pickup truck through this section of the deserted West and left nothing but a steer skull with fiery glowing eyes.
That's Sam Elliott. That's one mustache I can agree with. Judges, what do you think? Are you ready? Still contemplating? Okay, let's see. All right, we have 7.3, 8.9, 7.6, 7.7, 7.9. These judges are harsh.
This is actually an 8.6.
What? Another 23.2? Yes. Oh.
When I have to use an 8, it's upside down.
Okay, so it's 8.9. Did I get it right?
8.9? That's better.
So it's
No, I did
8.6.
get 8.9.
8.6.
Oh, 8.6.
Yeah. So if the 8's upside down, then the 6 is upside down.
So it's an 8.9?
Wait, here. That's really confusing. Okay, so your score was 8.6.
All right. Good score.
Okay, John dropped it. All right. Wow, that was some harsh judging. On deck is Isabel, and next up is Melinda.
Musical life, heart and souls. Life is like a good song. You feel it, you sing it, and you love it. I love my song. I feel you can listen to life with your ears, heart, and soul. In my life, that is how I live, like a beautiful melody of a good song. I want others to experience the lightness of my song. I want my family to feel the melody in my veins, heart, and soul. No one can, though. It's not something forced, only accepted. One day we will all be together again, sharing in laughter and tears and love one day. Until then, please listen to the lyrics, beat, and soul in my song.
Okay, well, I'm out of announcements. Anybody have a birthday coming up?
I do!
You do? What's your birthday?
April 19th.
Woo! What about you? Yay! April babies! Little spring babies. Let's see the scores. 6.8. 6.8. Wait a minute. 6.0. 6.2 and a 7.2. 19.8 for Melinda. Okay. On deck we have Damien. Up next is Isabel.
I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not that fucking angsty. I'm as non-controversial as a person can be. I'm white, 19, not Jewish, fairly clean, not pregnant. I'm someone you would let your kids play with if you were 41 and lived in a well-groomed cul-de-sac. I hate to disappoint you, but my name sounds like a mail-order Catholic. My looks are mediocre at best. I am not good at chess, but sometimes I pretend that I am. I am not tan. I'm from Kansas. Goddamn, I'm not cool, and I'm not interested in cool. Looked up the word wimp once, and it looked down on me. Crowned noun. A weak, timid, ineffectual person. Ineffectual. It's true that except scoring for the opposite team, I was never any good at any sports, but lucky for me, I have never believed in keeping score, and I'm happy in my head, and I believe that the mundane is blessed, that washing the dishes is tranquil existence and beautiful should be used in reference to regrets. To awkward gazes, to hand-me-down clothes, to everyday poets, not posed behind gangster mentality or a struggle they've invented to define them. I have to disappoint you with my breathing lungs, with my coursing blood, because ordinary life is so often dismissed as uninteresting, forgetting that 100,000 times a day your heart beats, that 6 billion of us often do the same things, laughing, changing, getting through things. I refuse to believe that my life is disappointing. I may only change the world in a very small way, and I am not ashamed of that. Or of having a family who loves me, my parents' honest middle-class living, my unmemorable traits, and the days when I just want to sit without saying anything. Sometimes silence is valuable and comfortable, and I'm no longer scared shitless of saying this, that I am extraordinary. My eyes, dark iris blooms in whitewashed rooms, my hands, two gorgeous, faithfully orbiting moons. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. So I might not be dope, but that does not make me no one. Don't you ever mistake me for somebody weak, ineffectual. I have never been. There's nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. So I am a kid. And I fuck up now and again, but I love without exceptions, and I'm happy in my own head. And as corny as this song is, really all you need is love. So I have decided on me. For once, forgetting how dumb that sounds, it's all that I could ever want to be. Thank you.
issue was trying to be impartial after the poets read, and the project like, I love being impartial on that one. Alright, so, judges, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's see. What? This way, this way. 9.0! 9.0! 9.1! 9.8! 9.1! She got a wee little time penalty of 2.2. But that's still 27 points. That's amazing. On deck is Melissa. Up now is Damien.
I lit a cigarette in stressful times like this. I feel like I have to. I took a drag and blew it in his face. He breathed it in. Even though I was stressed, my exterior was calm, cool, and confident. I think he knew I was stressed, but I guess me setting up my outlook like that is just a force of habit. I think my life is perfect the way it is, Scratch. I don't want to sign your goddamn contract. Why does he do this? Does he get lonely down there? He should have enough souls standing there to talk to. Maybe this is his own little twisted way of trying to find the perfect person to spend an eternity with. A cold wind blew and blew out my cigarette. Lucifer snapped his fingers, and a flame produced on the tip of his thumb. He brought the flame to the tip of my cigarette. I took another drag, but this one tasted bitter, like an exotic blend. He snapped his fingers again, and the flame abruptly went out. If you are not going to sign my contracts, I'll just have to take it by force. You wouldn't want me to do that, would you? I did not want to insult, for fear that my insult would show my fear. If you do that, then the man upstairs will have to punish you for it. Why do you want my soul? Because, Damien Maxwell, I am jealous of you. You have such loving friends and family. No matter how grim times get, you still keep smiling on your face. Truthfully, Lucifer, all of those smiles are fake. I may put on those plastic smiles for my friends, but on the inside, I'm breaking down. Now, Damien, we both know that isn't true. It is true that you get depressed at times, but you are pure of heart and a giver. you can get through anything. I was no longer afraid of him. I always thought there was some good, even in the darkest of evils. But I never thought that the Lord of Sin himself would show even the slightest bit of compassion. Why, thank you, for it is not a problem. If anything, I owe you a thank you, because you have shown me compassion in the acts that you do every day. I guess I have a little more angel in me than I thought.
Damien's a bit of a veteran at this, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right. All right, my judges. They're flipping, they're flipping. So it looks like we have some ideas. Is that one falling apart too?
Yeah, I can handle it.
Okay. All right, judges, let's see the scores. We have a 6.7, a 6.3, 7.0, 7.8,
Better.
and an 8.2.
There it is.
The dreaded time penalty. That went a little over 3-point penalty. So Damien ends up with an 18.5. What a riveting story. Plato's on deck. Melissa's the next poet.
You were once my one companion. You were all that mattered. You were once a friend and mother. Then my world was shattered. My mom passed at 47, after 5.5 years of my taking care of her. I was barely 26. She always held on my kite string, she said, and it was true. Wishing you were somehow here again, wishing you were somehow near. Sometimes it seemed if I just dreamed, somehow you would be here. As my mom became ill, the kite string became more like a yo-yo string. You know when you let the yo-yo dangle and then start to spin it? The sicker she got, the faster it went. And when she passed, it's like someone let go of the string, and I went hurtling through space. Wishing I could hear your voice again, knowing that I never would. Sometimes it seemed if I just dreamed, somehow you would be here. In the wake of my mother's death, I had my first manic episode. What had probably been there all along exploded onto the scene. I had my third baby. I was hospitalized for bipolar disorder. I could no longer work full-time. Passing bells and sculpted angels, cold and monumental, seem for you the wrong companions. You were warm and gentle. You taught me so much, that you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. that God put daisies and dandelions on this earth so that little children have something to pick. And that God gave roses thorns so children understood that even beautiful things could hurt. And to never pick the trilliums, otherwise the pixies have nowhere to dance. Too many years fighting back tears. Why can't the past just die? Wishing you were somehow here again, knowing we must say goodbye. Try to forgive, teach me to live, give me the strength to try. You are here with me. In every rainbow and silver-lined cloud, I know God has given you a new canvas. In each moment I gather patience with my children. I remember you in each lesson I teach them. I know you make me strong. No more memories, no more silent tears, no more gazing across the wasted years. Help me say goodbye. Help me say goodbye. Wow, okay, yeah. Sing Phantom of the Opera. My mom took me to see that when I was 16, when it first came out. And they're like, fond memory. I know. Okay. It was awesome, but I'm also really full. All right, judges. Let's see. 7.2, 7.3, 7.8, 6.9, and a 7.2. What? Another crazy time penalty. 2.8. So we're in the 8th. Dang it. That score final is 18.85. Leisha is on deck. Next up is Plato.
Come on, Plato, bring it!
So this 13-hour bus trip stretched before me like this vast desert, and I just wanted a beer. It was summer and that bus was simmering hot, overloaded with emotional baggage. We were packed like sardines in a can with bus people, and no offense, but you know, bus people. Those crazy outcasts of society, it smelled like liquor, stale tobacco, and armpits. And what's a fish like me, a fish out of water to do, except sit between two seats like a rock in a hard place? Backpack/pillow in my lap. I put on my headphones to try to escape through a nap, but silence, crap, my headphones died. I forgot to charge the batteries, I pleaded with God, why? And just then, this buzz-cut cadet leans over and with a grin, he says, "Do you want to see my bullet wounds?" Because I've been shot, but don't worry. I killed that motherfucker in Iraq. He looked at me, and the devil danced in his eyes. And I forgot where my line is. The devil danced in his eyes, and he had been fed too many lies to realize he was an angel in disguise. Another man replied in place of my astonished silence. He said, "Well, fuck the army, man. They kicked me out of the army. It's the whole system. The same system that put my parents in prison. This system won't help me. See, my girlfriend's pregnant. She lives with her parents, and her parents hate me. So now I am taking this bus to be nearby unborn baby. And there's a field by my girlfriend's house, and I got a tent. I'm asleep in that tent. I'm asleep in that field. I'll get a job. I'll flip burgers. I mean, I'll even shovel shit. I mean, I Gotta do something. Anything, I mean, whatever, until I can afford rent, because then I'm going to become a man. I'm going to raise my child, for that is the measure of my resolve. And another man says, well, good luck. See, I just got out of jail. I took 2 steps out of that cell, looked at that guard and said, who's the true prisoner? I served 2 weeks for my crimes of stealing. You've been working here for 20 years. Anyway, hope don't do nothing but build cages, and I'd like to be free. Free to be a fool like me. A lady with baggy sweats, stained shirt, tangled hair challenges him. See, those wrinkles on your face tell stories of mistakes. I too thought it was a good idea. Stay away late, drink, smoke weed, even sniff a little coke. But then one day you look in the mirror and you're old, broke, diseased and dying, and it wasn't even that much fun. But hey, you only live once. Live, love, learn, die. See, we are all in some sort of war, some sort of prison, riding on buses, looking through the windows we've lived in. We are all in this desert, so don't turn bitter. Just cry me a river.
Was this? I teach high school language arts, and I just read this paper one of my students wrote, and it was about, I give them assignments like, the meaning of life, you know, it's Monday, it's not over. And so I was treating one, and this kid said, I feel like nobody knows what the meaning of life is until the moment before they die. That. I mean, I feel like that would be, and not just last words, like, get off my lawn, whatever. There's like, whatever people say when they're dying, they're you know, but like to do a real survey of people, you know, what was the point? And then, I don't know, kind of like StoryCorps, but for people who are dying. Okay, let's see the scores for Plato. 7.4, 8.3,
better.
9.0,
There it is.
9.2,
Yeah.
and an 8.5. 25.8 for Plato. Jason's on deck, and Leisha, is it Leisha or Leisha? Leisha. Leisha, I'm so sorry. Leisha, you're next.
Yeah.
It's a poem for my friend who will be called Lynn. It's called In the Gap. Hey, Mr. Rich Man, when you can't sleep, I bet you count your money instead of sheep. Lynn was in a tent with Marco on a rainy night, and the tent leaked, so it was clammy inside, and the wind blew. Latex stuck to them uncomfortably, so Lynn went down to her friend's tent and drank a beer or two. Pretty soon, Marco showed up and said, that guy was looking at you, and you were looking at him. She laughed because she'd been drinking. He punched her front teeth in, dragged her back to his tent, pinned her down, and hit her in the face again, 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 again. It hit her so hard I lost my place. Until he passed out. She laid there waiting for a chance to escape, but the dog was between her and the door. Early in the morning, while they snored, she slid closer and closer to freedom. Then she lunged. The dog yelped. Marco punched the back of her neck, so she landed face down in the meadow. Johnny Law snapped up her head by her hair, looked down into her muddy, bloody face, but couldn't tell who she was, so she gave her real name and got busted. I took her downtown and said, Lynn, I'm sorry. Marco read my journal and said, I read your lesbo porn shit. My favorite bit was the high school where the freshman girls had to wear nothing but a t-shirt. I said, Marco, I didn't write that. He put his big hand in my face and said, listen, it was like that.
They had to walk down the halls in nothing else but a t-shirt. He made my porn less elegant, meaner, and I was righteous about my porn. I said to Lynn, I'm scared what I wrote back then is like a time bomb that went off in that tent. That's not how it went, she said. She put her hand on my thigh, tipped back her head, and smiled. I gently touched her face in front of the courthouse with people walking by so straight. I didn't care if they saw us embrace. When I kissed her mouth, the metallic taste was a lifetime of stale cigarettes and beer. Softly, tenderly, I eased the tip of my tongue into that soft, bloody, painful space where her 2 front teeth should be.
Project's like, you don't know Alicia? No, I do. All right. Got something? All right, 7.6, 7.9, 8.5.
Better.
8.9.
Better.
7.8. And Jason is up next.
John Mayer said, "Your body is a wonderland," and I'm sure that at the time the description illuminated his creative cortex. He was deep in the throes of a mesmerized gaze or a poetic love haze, or maybe he'd been awake for 2 days, lost inside a physical maze. See, the bill of goods you were sold at 10 years old may have you convinced that your sensual body is gold, but the rest is mold. It's not. It's a mold that holds the richest story ever told. See, creation, both divine and sublime. Your growing belly perpetuates humanity's rhythmic rhyme. If those doubting a creator are looking for a sign, can they not find its ebb and flow repeating 9 months at a time? See, we've become desensitized to the gravity of pregnancy, passing by so many life-giving bellies as though there's nothing to see, when the miracle of newly created life ought drop us to a knee and give thanks to the Almighty God, who could end the human race with a single lightning rod, because though he is Lord over all of time and space, he still keeps a running tally of the hairs on my head and sees to it that minuscule me receives daily bread. And though he's Lord of a universe beyond what I comprehend, he found time to make my pregnant wife the most beautiful blend of perseverance, strength, resilience, and fire, and a sense for right and wrong to which I aspire. He blessed her with wit and hardship so that she's better equipped to comfort those who've seen life speed bump and tripped. And now, to see her with child, it's more clear than ever that Mayer's Wonderland was perhaps an attempt to bring glory to the object of his admiration, but short-sighted. The objectification of desire ought not be limited to an afternoon of sheet wrestling, but ought rather be reserved to revere the canvas of God's glory and the inner workings that create the blossom belly which our eyes are permitted to behold. See, the epic story begins with the belly of a chosen woman, springing to life, expanding and extending to gestate Jesus Christ himself. Mary endured the months of trial without prenatal pills, ultrasounds, or Tums. Her strength and resolute faith stuns. I watch as my wife rolls and rotates beneath discomfort, seeking desperately for relief from a pinched sciatic nerve. I listen to her heave through bouts of nausea, labor from one stair to the next, and I'm vexed. She's battling in a way that transcends my ability and suffering God's sovereign design for new life, and yet, when she sleeps, she glows like a full moon, pointing inevitably toward Bethlehem, from where birth received its true meaning. She is both small beneath the vastness of Yahweh's handiwork and larger than life in the delivery of new saints. So if in the future you find yourself fixated on the world's assessment of a woman's physical gifts, remember that her highest calling is as vessel. So if she decides that the two of you should wrestle, then there's no more doubting divine intervention, because she is, in fact, an extension of the holiest ascension, a delivery vehicle for new life, drawing from the Creator its eternal pension. And in a world in which birth rates are falling faster than gravity because selfish ambitions lead to human depravity, I implore that we see the stretched skin surfacing a woman's womb and remember that it was for new life that Jesus lay in a tomb, meaning that all of us are likely safe to assume that the time from conception to delivery is God's love at its bloom.
New poets, like, all right, my judges, 9.0, 8.0, 7.6, 6.9, 9.7. Wee little time penalty, 0.7. Our score is 23.9. Sebastian's on deck, and up next is downtown.
I'm going to be that guy reading off of his phone, so I'm sorry. Divinity is shit. If there ever was a God, he never spoke to me. If the cattle-born stacks of wood that raised a church ever had words for the only son of my father and mother, they were not spoken. But something was said to me. In the back of theaters and concert halls, in between two sweat-soaked bodies of teenagers, lithe and young and not caring, and those words rang out like the loudest gospel choir. All my life, I've been looking for one worth living. Something akin to novels and folk songs about nature and death and love and everything beautiful. Something true. Because it's been a long time since I've been young enough to tell you that things are easy for me. That my plans in the future were something that I knew of and not something that was constantly in flux. Clay in the hands of an infant. There never was a God that talked to me. There never was a God for me. I've never cared to have one, but sometimes I'd like to have someone that I could lay blame on.
Oh, theological gamut. Look at all you people on a bus. Go to Vegas. All right. Yes, my judge is 8.1, 8.4, 7. 7.7, 7.8. 23.6. We're down. Getting down to our last three poets. On deck is Tanya, and Sebastian is next.
I hope my time isn't dissipating at the moment.
It is.
You don't come out. Oh, but it is. So we should be very same page. Life is becoming more and more fragmented. Tiny, small, imperceptible objects are lodging their way between each and every one of us. Between me and you, between you and I, between us and them, between her and he, and worse, between each and every individual and the natural world in which we exist. So much so that what constitutes the natural world is becoming less and less decipherable, less and less understandable. We have become a people vanquished by an almost religious devotion to commercial enterprises. In the same way individuality was crushed by the medieval Catholic Church, so too are our lives by cheap and colorful machines. Yes, flies are everywhere, and they are a menace. And I ate a big chocolate chip cookie with macadamia nuts and raisins, and washed it down with a double espresso, sweetened with half and half, and raw sugar, sustainably raised, whatever that means. Yes, there are sweet, lifting island melodies in my ears and in my head. No, in my mind. In my ears there is wax, tiny hairs, cartilage, and other things which science has names for, but which I do not. My head is filled with bones, mushy matter, fluids, and electricity. The electricity is limitless, infinite, and the past is contained at the tip of your heart. And when you feel the past, you feel it at the tip of your heart. And the present is in the tip of your fist and the palm of your hand. And your anxiety is your future. Amen. In conclusion, an affirmation. Close your eyes to silence if this ever happens to you and say, my anxiety about the future does not exist. Anxiety does not exist. The future does not exist. One more time. My anxiety about the future does not exist. Anxiety does not exist. The future does not exist. Let's face it, this is true. 3 sentences, a mantra, a holiday with clear blue skies, and a conch and lobster with lemon and butter. And best of all, none of the ridiculous wants, desires, needs, and anxieties that pervade every one of my waking days. A sweet little thing lifting her skirts unconsciously in the grass. I think we should fuck, he said. Or more precisely meant to say, in his mind. What came out was, your boyfriend sounds really nice. I am a ballerina with my eyes closed, spinning, dancing, only with words. Looking for rhythm, I smash my pen against the page until it no longer resembles itself. Looking for rhythm, I smash my pen against the page until it no longer resembles itself. Oh, I wish you were all close to me, like the future was supposed to be. Like pure, imperceptible spaces, your faces like snowflakes on my eyelashes, looking at the lamplights in the distance when I was 6, preaching precept upon precept, building patterns upon the patterns, and looking at a star like Jupiter or Saturn in the morning before the sun, even before the stirring light. Before the questions, before the unsurety, before the deformities of the not yet happened future, before the stupor of the day, there is I, and I am here in the present, finally, amen, thank you.
Literature at Hogwarts, but I think they should, and they should hire you. Sebastian, I'm glad you got to read. So you're visiting from New Orleans? Yes. Just passing through? Thank you.
else know this until
Thank you, Professor.
Judges care, but timekeepers don't.
So that final score was 2195, but I will remember that for the rest of my life. On deck is our final poet of the first round, which is Eli, and next up is Tom.
This is my first time. This is a letter. Dear Mister, you and I, we are interconnected, standing here free to be what we already are. Like the flowers you hold in your hand, like the bullets you put in my hand. Standing here free, right? To be what we already are. Let me ask my friends. Are you holding tightly to what was placed in your hand? If you let it be, there it will rise to hit the stone and to ride. Let it bounce on your rock. You know, it's your touch. Is what you touch running you for chance? Either way, the sun and the moon will depend on your move. What if you bite the bullets out of my hand, her hand, your hand, turn tyranny, bigotry, and misogyny into synchrony, a melodic symphony? Oh, I understand dichotomy. Do you have sympathy? It's not so black and white. I don't need that Hollywood go-green light to hold the worth of my letters that are attached to your pavement. But attached with what? Everlasting power glue? Is that what holds my path towards you? I got the courage to read through your glue, goo goo. It's soft and sticky. And I don't have the energy to play with that, Dickie. I got two hands, one to hold the other. Standing here free to be what we already are. I prefer my soul drifting to the clouds, because that's the view that sets the birds to sing the sweetest songs. But up there, I also see you standing there, with your army gear, ready to embrace the birth of fear. I see you. I see the lady that follows you to your path, too. I see the children knocking the trepidation blocks down as you crowd to hide under their charm. I look into your eyes now and ask you to join me on the ground to plant the redemption feminist farm. Beauty lies deep. I want you to wash away your sense in fear. Standing here free with both hands. Do you see me?
It must be really hard to come up and do this for the first time. Yes. So what happens with so next month, they're the finals, and then we end up with, do we end up with the Poetry Slam team now?
Yeah.
No.
The Eugene Poetry Slam team?
No.
Oh, we don't have a team.
We don't have a team.
But there will be some going to the country fair.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah.
okay, cool.
But not nationals.
Because it's hard to get to nationals, all right? It's like regional. I don't know. We'll have to check. Okay, judges, what happens? 7 points. 7.3, 6.9,
Boo.
7.1, and 7.4. 1.8. Awesome. All right. And our final poet of the
bigger than this. Knock, look. There's a spider crawling across the floor. Bigger than this. The word you said, I can't remember what. The wall creaks. It's the wind outside. Bigger than this. Grandma's gone. It's still in the graveyard. Nothing moves. You told me to cross my fingers over one another and look at a picture on the wall. It wasn't about the picture you said. It was something about the eyes I used. That it would tell me something about myself. But here in the graveyard, there's no time for bigger or smaller things. And soon, when our work is done, we're lying there too. Looking up at the trees, there's a ridge in the distance, and past that, a highway. Looking further, there are rivers and mountains. Walking up the coastline, our footsteps trace the outline of the continent. You can put an ocean between us. How can we grow bigger than that? Our beloved sister, sitting on her star throne, looks down upon us, protected. But there's no reason, she says, holding the earth in her palm, while we couldn't close our eyes for a while, play a game of chess, or piece together a puzzle just like this one. A human being. In memory of Anne Dumac Lucas. Bigger than this. We tremble when death takes our kindred, but let us forgive that which puts to rest a life well lived. Although bumpy as times got, a stroke of elegance persisted wherever she walked. On the street, by the creek, her wavering heart lover a classic folder of hands of children crossing streets. Faultlessly, tenderly, she got us across. And now she has crossed over without us to a place we are children to. A street departed from a familiar neighborhood, from where we can listen to the music that plays still in her heart. Where dwells always her spirit, the passage she followed, the sweet things she gave, the warm way she greeted each of us, and the courageously clumsy way in which she left. Orpheus, my brother. Her footprints continue on over the ridge where the bridge hangs suspended. The water roars beneath, never contained, not like his grief. It spills out cold as death. Hypothermia victims often tear off their clothes when their body temperature drops below 90. Suddenly they are overcome by a feeling of penetrating warmth. Sometimes they are found lying stiff naked in the snow. Although they may appear, and all signs may say so, they are not necessarily dead. If it hasn't been too long, it can be revived with the right kind of warmth, but be warned, too much heat too fast can arrest the heart. She's worried over all this grief, but she's not grappling anymore with the engineering problem of building a bridge over floodwaters, gathering uncontrollably. From the other side, she looks on with the same caring eyes she always had. She sees him holding back the rain. A storm rumbles inside, the same storm she has become. Maybe he'll realize, she whispers from the clouds, that it's okay to let go, that I will clear a way from him, for him, if only he will let the storm out and around him, that I will always be his warmth.
So what's going to happen next is we're going to take a little break. We'll do the scores, and I will tell you who is going on to the second round. We'll take a little break. When we come back, we have Lindsay, who's going to be our sacrificial poet for round 2. And then we have 5 poets. The 5 poets still standing. And then top 3, get cash money. Judges, what do you have? 6.6, 6.8, 6.7, 8.2, and a 6.8. to reverse order. So our first poet in the second round is going to be Dante. Second up, Jason. Third up, Leisha.
Yeah.
Fourth, Plato. And fifth is Isabel. So please take a break.